All right, pirates, now that you've learned a little bit more about research skills and techniques and things that will help you along the way, let's jump into our databases and see all the different options we have to get you scholarly resources for your research. All right, pirates, here we are at our library homepage, library.park.edu. You can also access our library webpage through your Canvas course by going to the left-hand tab that says Library. From here, you're going to want to go to guides. These library guides have specific resources based on the subject that you're studying. For this class, you can explore any of our science-related library guides, such as biology or chemistry or physics, depending on what your topic is. For example, I could click on physics here and scroll down until you see the guide that says physics. From here, you'll see that there's lots of helpful resources for this subject, like citing and online labs and simulations. But for now, we really just want to look at the databases that we can utilize to learn more about our research topic that's related to physics. So from here, you'll see we have several different databases, including archive.org, Science Scale and Context, and Science Reference Center. You can explore all of these, and you could even utilize Pirate Search. Any of these are going to be good resources for you to use. I'm going to start with Science Reference Center. Once you click on the tab, it'll bring you to the search box. This is going to look really similar to Pirate Search if you've ever used Pirate Search before. Pirate Search is our discovery search that looks through all of our different databases at once, but Science Reference Center is going to give you a more targeted or focused result list. It's going to get rid of anything that's not related to science and therefore make it a more cohesive results list. Again, trying to make our research quicker and more efficient, this might be a good option for us. Just like we learned about how to create a search query utilizing our keywords in the previous video, we're going to go ahead and go into an advanced search here. And we can go ahead and see these three boxes and put in our keywords or our search terms. I'm going to do an example here, and I'm going to search for COVID-19. And as I type that, you'll see in our database, it's pulling up suggestions here. Remember when we talked about the Boolean search operator of or? It's pulling up COVID or coronavirus or 2019 nCoV, which is all those scientific terms for COVID-19 pandemic. So if you are wanting to, you can absolutely use these results here and click on them, and it'll autofill that into those boxes for you. And then I might go in and do a second search term and do like vaccine. And again, it's suggesting more like vaccines or vaccinations or immunizations. Or we could go down to like vaccine mandate or mandatory vaccine or vaccination mandate or things like that. This is a really good way not only to find different synonyms to use that or Boolean search operator with, but it's also an interesting way to think about your topic and think about, well, is this too broad? Maybe I should narrow. Maybe I should narrow my topic to vaccine mandate or maybe vaccine hesitancy or vaccine refusal or vaccine acceptance. But for now, I think I'm just going to do vaccines, vaccinations, or immunizations. And since this is just an example, I'm just going to go ahead and press search. Now that we have done this, we'll see we have 440 search results. That's just right off the bat. But we would want to remember that we want to refine our results before we go in and start looking through all of them, because we want to streamline our results. We're not looking through pages upon pages upon pages of search results every time we want to do research, right? So right off the bat, we would want to go to refine results. Again, this is a tool to help make your research more efficient and effective. So if we go over here to refine results and scroll down, we can go down to limit to. These are limiters that are going to allow us to limit or refine the results that are being shown out of this 440. Then I can go down to limit to scholarly peer-reviewed journals as needed for this assignment. I could also filter by publication date. Obviously, we know that if we just want to study this iteration of COVID-19 or this iteration of the pandemic, we would want to change that publication date, right? We would probably want to go down to like 2019 or 2020. That way, we're only getting the things that are related to this that haven't been published before this pandemic. Then we can go down and continue to filter if we have a lot of results, but now we're down to only 37 results. So that can really help us look through our results more efficiently and quickly. And we also know that these results are going to be the most targeted ones that we have. Now that we have our 37 results, we can look through the results here and learn more about the topic we're looking at. So for example, if I wanted to look at this first result, all I have to do is click on the title here, and then I'll be able to find lots of information about the resource. So I can learn about the author, where it was published, Current Science, volume 122. What are the subject terms? So these are similar to our keywords, right? What are the big subject terms, or what are the big terms or keywords that are related to this article? And then a really helpful thing is we can read the abstract to make sure that that's, the kind of article that we're looking for here. Then if we want to go ahead and take a look at the article, we can go to PDF full text, which is on this left-hand side where it says detailed record, right under that where it says PDF full text. And from here, we'll be able to read through the article. One thing that's really important here is once we look at the article, we're able to see more context about the article. So thinking again about our cherry picking and our confirmation bias things, we want to make sure that this is a reputable source, and that's going to take our critical thinking skills, right? So we can look here at the resources that the author has used, maybe look at their credentials. This author is in the Department of Microbiology in a dental college and hospital in India. But one thing we would want to look here is this is opinion up at the top. So what does that mean for our research? Not that this is uninformed, right? This person went through and has some sources cited, but that's something we want to consider. What kind of resources are we looking for our research here? To go back, we would go to detailed record. So again, we are under PDF full text. We would go back up to detailed record to go back to that previous page. If we wanted to save this article, we could download it by clicking on this down arrow, print it, etc. We can go back to the detailed record now. And there are more ways that we can save this article, including adding it to a folder. You could also, again, print it. You could email it to yourself. That'll kind of have a pop-up here. And then you could also, add it to your Google Drive, etc. One other interesting thing is that there's a cite button here. So if you click on that cite button and you want to pull the citation, they have lots of different citation formats depending on what kind of citation you're doing. But one thing to keep in mind, these references or these citations are not always completely correct. So make sure that you're taking a look at it and using those critical thinking skills. Make sure you're using your prior knowledge to make sure that these are correct. They're a great starting point, though. Another great database is arXiv. This one is a fan favorite by a lot of your professors and science faculty here at Park. And this is a great way to explore topics, but also you can utilize your research skills that we talked about earlier still in here. If you go to the advanced search, you can still add another term. So we could do COVID-19 and add another term and vaccine and search. Again, we're using that Boolean operator still. So it's the same kind of concept, just a different look to it. And finally, I wanted to share that if you like using Google Scholar, if you feel really comfortable or have used Google Scholar before, not Google, Google Scholar, feel free to utilize Google Scholar. In fact, you can actually link our library and our holdings and our resources to Google Scholar. I'm going to show you really quickly how to do it because it's super simple. If you go to the Google Scholar homepage, scholar.google.com, you can go to these three bars over here and then scroll down to where it says settings. From here, on this left-hand side where it says search results, you can go down to library links, search for Park University here, and it will add all these different ones, such as Park University Library. And you can just check the box that says Park University Library, press save. And then once you go into do a search for Google Scholar, you'll be able to see our holdings right alongside the holdings that are available for public access. Again, using that same Boolean logic and that same search technique, you you'll be able to see when we have sources that are available for you. And you'll be able to see that by seeing Park University Library. So some of these we don't have holdings for, but you could probably see, like this one is from the nih.gov. So if we clicked on that, it would bring us right to the resource. But if we went to one down here that said, oh, we want to learn more about this, and it said Park University Library, if we click on our library name, it'll bring us to our library where we can then be able to read the article for free. So this is a great alternative if you are really like using Google Scholar, but you find that a lot of the resources are behind a paywall, or you have to pay for them, or they're inaccessible. You can kind of see which ones are available through our library as well as the ones that are freely available on the web. I hope this was helpful as you learn to navigate through the different databases that we have available. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and advance the next slide of this module and work through finding some preliminary resources for your research using the topic that I gave you. Now that you've learned all of these skills, you'll be able to look through and find resources as a practice round before you get into your topic when I come to class to visit with you.